Welcome to the Invite Health Podcast. I am Dr. Amanda Williams, MD, MPH, and today I want to talk about staying hydrated during the hot summer months. This is something that here in Florida happens more frequently. It's not just during the summer, it's certainly for the most part, especially in South Florida, more year round. But throughout the rest of the country, definitely during those summer months, that you really have to be cognizant about staying hydrated and taking the right nutrients to make sure that the body is getting all of the correct vitamins and minerals. And this is definitely a problem when we are exposed to higher temperatures as well as to higher degrees of humidity. This is definitely an area where if we have excess fluid loss, it can be difficult to make that back up, and people can succumb to heat exhaustion and even have heat stroke in very severe cases. So I want to talk about a couple of different ways that you can target that during this time. Now, before we get started, just a friendly reminder for you to subscribe to the Invite Health Podcast. Remember, you can leave us a review. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Invite Health. And all of the information on today's episode will be linked in the episode description, and you can visit invitehealth.com/podcast for more information. So let's get right to it. Let's talk about why staying hydrated during the summer is so important. And we recognize we're out and exposed to higher temperature, higher humidity, as well as more sun. So the UV rays themselves can certainly have damaging effects. We know this to be true. But we also have to remain in the mindset that we want to not only take advantage of the warm weather, but we want to stay healthy while doing that. So I'm going to give you a couple of different tips here as to how you can achieve that. Number one is hydration. Water is our friend, and we happen to have this really cool way for you to be able to maintain hydration during the summer months. It makes it really, really easy. And what that actually is, it's our Hydrate Spark 3. This is a smart water bottle. Most people are used to seeing people carrying around water bottles nowadays. And what generally the concern is when it comes to our health is it BPA free? And that, of course, is going to be very important because we don't want to be exposing ourselves to any of those harmful chemicals that can leach out of the plastic. So BPA free first and foremost. But what the Hydrate Spark 3 actually is this really high-tech way to be able to track your water intake. So it comes with this app, and you can connect this via a Bluetooth, and this is going to actually display your daily water intake. So you can easily track how much water you are having when you are out in the hot sun, enjoying your time at the beach or at the pool. And it's a really nice way for you to make sure that you are staying hydrated during the summer months. So it's really just amazing to me when you think about technology and we think the advancement of water bottles and how we have now gotten to the point where we can actually personalize our hydration. It's so unique in terms of being able to track your water. And this can be for a variety of different reasons. For some people, it might be that you have an underlying health condition, and, making sure that you're taking in adequate water throughout the day is certainly critical. It could be because during the summer months, you are more physically active. And so your water loss is just as important as your water gain. And so making sure that we are rehydrating after we lose any of the water from sweating, if you're doing more physical activity. Now, what's interesting about the Hydrate Spark is that this actually lights up. It is amazing for me when I think about the advancement of technology and understanding that we now have the capability to have a water bottle that we can actually tie in to an app through a Bluetooth, and we can be given notification like, hey, it's time for us to drink some water. I mean, that's pretty remarkable. It's just this brand new platform that is out, and it allows us to have more positive habits. And I think for many people out there, if you're real busy and you're running from one place to the next, especially during the summer, having a way to be able to track your water intake is really, really cool. Now, this has this smart sensing technology, and it measures changes in electrical field that's caused by the presence of water. And so the way that this particular water bottle is working, which is BPA free, remember, is it has these LED sensors, and it reminds you to drink water, which is really quite cool. You think about summer months and fluid loss, this can be a problem for people who are prone to kidney stones, for example. And there was actually this randomized clinical trial that was done that was investigating the impact of increased fluid intake and increased urine output when it came to the recurrence of urinary stone disease. So for those who are more prone to kidney disease, and finding that those who had a higher intake of fluid would actually result in a reduced risk of stone formation. So I think that this is really quite interesting when you think about we now have this ability to basically track and monitor. And being that this is an app, it's going to come through on your smartphone, and you'll be able to see, how often are you drinking your water? Not on top of the fact that the bottle itself actually lights up to give you a reminder like, hey, it's time that we need to take a drink. So it's tracking your water intake, and it runs via Bluetooth. So really, really advanced technology. There's no need to actually charge this. There is a battery for this, and it's an extended life battery. Really a nice way to stay hydrated during the summer. So advanced technology. Sometimes I sit here and I think, wow, it's amazing to me. We go back and you just think, it wasn't that long ago that people weren't even drinking bottled water. You just go to your tap and get water via that way. And now we actually have a technology in which there is a sensor that syncs up via a Bluetooth to let us know when we need to drink our water and how much water we should be drinking, which is just so neat to me. I oftentimes find myself being incredibly impressed with technology, and when I look at something such as the Hydrate Spark, this just happens to be one of those areas. When we think about the importance of water and how water makes up the human body, 70% of the body itself is made of water. We look at our brain, 85% of our brain is made up of water. Our blood, we have 85% of water within the blood. So, and at a cellular level, if we want to get real tiny and we want to look at the cells, 90% of the cells are made up of water. And being that 75% of Americans suffer from chronic dehydration, we know that we don't do a very good job when it comes to staying hydrated. So now we have this way to kind of give us that extra little reminder to stay hydrated. It's going to light up. It's going to send us alerts to our phone. We can track this over time. We can see how much water we are taking in. And this is definitely important during the summer. So I'm going to tell you what you can do to partner up this really wonderful Hydrate Spark along with a particular supplement. But I'm going to take a quick break first, so we will be right back.
This podcast is brought to you by InviteHealth.com. For over 20 years, Invite Health has provided premium quality supplements and expert advice you can trust. Now, first-time customers can enjoy an exclusive offer. Visit invitehealth.com/podcast or click the link in this episode description. That's invitehealth.com/podcast for your exclusive offer on Invite Health products. Invite Health offers the resources you need to make important decisions about your health. Chat live with degreed healthcare professionals, get product information, and find retail locations near you at invitehealth.com. You can also learn about our new genetic testing program and our exclusive Invite Fitness Wellness program. Follow Invite Health on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and be sure to subscribe to our podcast today. Now back to our episode.
And welcome back. Now, did you know that the average American is only drinking roughly around 2.5 cups of water every day? And we know we're supposed to get 8 cups a day. So if we're saying on the average 2.5 cups, we know that many Americans are not even achieving that. So what better way to be able to increase our water intake than to have something that we can actually use technology in doing? We can have a water bottle that lights up, tells us, hey, this is our reminder, we need to drink. It's also going to send an alert to your smartphone. So it hooks up via this app that keeps track of how much water you're taking in and how well you're actually doing at achieving your goals. Because we know that hydration has an impact on every aspect of our overall health. So right now in the summertime, we want to think about, more physical activity that we're doing. But we also have to recognize that water intake plays a role in every other aspect. So when we talk about weight management, we look at our blood pressure, when we look at our overall cognition, when we look at our skin, all has to do with water. So if we have this wonderful new product that we can utilize, the Hydrate Spark, this is a really nice way for us to achieve our goals and to be able to track those goals over time. Oftentimes as human beings, if we have a way to hold ourselves accountable, we will usually do much better. If we just say, yeah, I think I drank enough water today. If I try and just go based off my memory, maybe I did get 4 glasses or 4 cups in today. But if we have a way that we can actually track this and it holds us accountable, then we know that we're going to be better when it comes to achieving our overall goals. Now, I said I wanted to mention a particular product that we can use in conjunction with the Hydrate Spark, and that is the Alkalizer Powder. Now, this is something that I talk about frequently with people here in Florida. The Invite Health Alkalizer Powder is this wonderful blend of potassium, magnesium, and beta-alanine. Now, this is really key because the whole goal is that we want to be able to maintain proper alkalinity. We don't want to have a situation where we become more acidic. Now, we know that when we have periods of lack of hydration, we're overdoing it, we have these sweaty workouts, things like that, this can create a mineral electrolyte imbalance. So this is why putting in a supplement such as the Alkalizer Powder that contains the magnesium, potassium, plus the amino acid beta-alanine that has been shown to be very beneficial when it comes to overall muscle health. This is why this is a great product to have on hand during the summer, where we know we have that potential for greater loss of electrolytes. So this is why people oftentimes can end up with muscle cramping, for example. Muscle cramping many times can be because of a lack of magnesium or perhaps a lack of potassium. And we know from the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey that 98% of Americans do not get enough potassium and roughly 70% of Americans do not get enough magnesium. And so we need to have potassium and magnesium for alkalinity to maintain proper pH. We know that magnesium is incredibly important because it's required for over 300 different biochemical reactions in the body. So if we are lacking either of these or both, this can create significant issues. We know that low magnesium can have an impact on our blood pressure. For example, if we have low magnesium, this can create endothelial dysfunction. The endothelial cells are what line your blood vessels. So if we do not have adequate magnesium, this can create vasoconstriction. This can create inflammation within the blood vessels as well as throughout the entire body. It can create an abnormal heart rhythm. So low magnesium linked to a lot of significant issues. We also know that when we look at potassium, this can also create havoc when it comes to the circulatory system. So this is why when we think about maintaining proper pH and maintaining our normal alkalinity, the Alkalizer Powder can help us in achieving that. So it's helping to support energy production, helping to support healthy muscle function, nerve function, cardiovascular function, maintaining and supporting healthy blood pressure. All of this is certainly very important. And when we are losing electrolytes because of excess heat and higher humidity, then it would be advantageous to include something such as the Alkalizer Powder into your routine. Now, we can also look at why we have the beta-alanine added in. There was a study that was published in the Journal of International Society of Sports Nutrition looking at beta-alanine. This is an amino acid, and finding that dietary supplementation of beta-alanine by athletes had been proven to increase the fitness level. So they said, well, if it's good for athletes, let's look at this in the general population. Let's actually look at older men and women, and let's set up this double-blind randomized controlled trial where we give older men and women 90 days of beta-alanine. And then they had a placebo group. And then they were assessing their overall fitness levels before as well as after this study. And what they found was that 67% of the people who were in this study showed an improvement in their fitness level. So this is really quite impressive. And they said that this showed that beta-alanine supplementation helped to increase physical working capacity in the muscles. These findings are clinically significant. So this is why when we think about the importance of potassium, magnesium, and beta-alanine, it's not just for those who are going and working out. This is very important for everyone of all ages when we think about maintaining proper pH balance in the human body. So all of this can play an increasing role, especially during the summer months, which is why the Alkalizer Powder for me happens to be one of my kind of go-tos here in Florida, because a lot of people don't recognize the shift even so much in the temperature. Like, that, one week it might be 80 degrees, another week it's 90 degrees. So we recognize, okay, it's hotter. But where many people fail to recognize, and this is what I find oftentimes up in the Midwest as well as in the Northeast, is the humidity shift. So when you go from a state of low humidity to all of a sudden we have this high humidity that's occurring along with the higher heat, the higher temperature, this is when we can start to have problems when it comes to excess fluid loss. Even if you're not out there sweating, we're still losing that fluid, and that can create a problem when it comes to maintaining blood pressure, proper heart rhythm, our overall energy, the way that we feel. We can start to feel more fatigued. We may have disrupted sleep. There's so many different aspects that can be impacted just because of mineral loss. So thinking about that magnesium again, we know that when we are looking at magnesium, we are now thinking about things such as the over 300 different enzymatic processes in the body that require magnesium, and understanding that water makes up the human body and Americans are not taking in adequate water. Now we have a way that we can partner this up. We can make sure that we are maintaining proper pH at the same time that we are tracking ourselves when it comes to adequate hydration. So the Hydrate Spark 3, which is going to light up, it's going to send you alerts to your phone, which is going to be beneficial for all aspects of your overall health and wellness. And then we can partner that up with that Alkalizer Powder. So it's just one of my summertime tips that I wanted to share with you today. So definitely check both of those out, the Hydrate Spark along with the Alkalizer Powder. That is all that I have for you for today. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Invite Health podcast. Remember, you can find all of our episodes for free wherever you listen to podcasts or by visiting invitehealth.com/podcast. Make sure you subscribe, leave us a review. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Invite Health. And we will see you next time for another episode of the Invite Health podcast.